Hey everyone, this is Bro from Zero to Rockstar.com, and I'm here for another weekly check-in. This should be a short one, and normally I have a list of things where I tell you, hey, this is what I got done, and this is what I didn't get done. However, I believe this is one of the worst weeks I've had since I started recording my check-ins, and so basically, I've got two things that I got done off my list. Number one, I did get to meditate more than I did previous week. I got to meditate 4 times this past week, 1 during the evening and 3 during the day. And I'd like to think that that's what actually got me through this crazy busy week, because it has been one of those weeks work-wise, and just overall, like, just a lot of, just from the second I get up to the second I fall asleep, it feels like every second is packed with stuff to do. It's been kind of insane. But I'm happy that I got the meditation done. It felt good to actually get that done. So I would like to continue on that path, obviously, because it keeps me focused. Keeps me even keeled. So the more I do that, the better. So the second thing that I got done is basically get some leisure time in, which is very, very important to me, because I'm really terrible at getting leisure time in ever. Feels like I always have to be working on something. That's just me. So leisure time is something that's just for fun, I got some gaming in last weekend, about 3 hours, I believe. I didn't record it. I didn't want to record it because I knew it was going to be a longer session than usual, and I just kind of wanted to play. I should have recorded it because then at least you'd have a footage of that on the screen. I have to do better about setting that up. So I got that in last weekend. I also managed to get some TV time. Basically, my Walking Dead was the TV time, which is an hour, so about a total of 4 hours. As far as reading goes, I didn't even get to do any leisure reading this past week. Honestly, I was just too tired. Even if I did, I don't think I would have gotten past 2 pages. So that's basically it. Those two are the things that I got done off my weekly kind of task list to, get my goals done, my greater goals. Which means I didn't get to draw at all. So that's like my second week that I didn't get to really draw. I don't think I drew the previous week. I have really bad memory. Like, I don't remember. But yeah, it's been some time. I would like to say that it's been 2 weeks since I really sat down and drew. However, good news is that this morning I spent a few hours drawing. Now, I didn't record that because I just wanted to sit down and get some drawing done, just to get it done. Anyway, it wasn't going to count towards the past week because, as you remember, if you remember, or if you're new here, then you won't remember. So I start my week from basically a Saturday and ended on a Friday in terms of getting this goal done. That's just what makes sense. So since today's Saturday, I don't really count that for last week. Okay, this will count for next week's. And after I post and edit this online and write my blog post, I'm actually going to record a drawing session. That way I have that. And another thing that I didn't get to do that I really need to start. I really need to push myself to get this done this next week is exercise. Because it gives me more energy when I do. And if I don't get that natural energy from that, I'll get it elsewhere, meaning like sugary drinks, which I have been drinking more soda this past week. I it's not terrible. It's not terrible. The amount of soda that I drink is not awful to begin with. I barely drink any of that stuff. I have the occasional ginger ale. I've just been kind of trying to keep away from sugary stuff, you know. But I've been drinking some Diet Coke just to kind of help boost my energy, which is just, I know, it's terrible. So, you know, it kind of just snowballs, basically. So that's not something I really want to keep up on. Also, we've been ordering in a lot more just because of if it's a busy week, it's just easier to pick up the phone or you know, go online and just order and get delivery. We've been doing that a couple of times this week. We ordered, like, one time it was pizza, another was like fast food, what I would consider like kind of junk food, you know. I like to cook. I really do. I prefer to cook my meals and our meals, my family's meals. However, I don't have time. Even when I'm working from home, it's not something where I'm like, okay, I'm done at 5:30 or I'm done at 6 o'clock. You know, if I start cooking at 6 o'clock, we're not gonna eat till like a couple hours. You know, it's a bit too late. And there have been a couple of nights this past week where we ate a little later than usual. And we were you know, just thoroughly exhausted. If you try to do that every night, it's just not feasible. So, you know, maybe a little better meal planning will do wonders this coming week. Maybe like make bigger batches of food so we have leftovers, that sort of thing. I have no idea. I gotta do something different. We have to do something different. Another thing that I haven't been doing the last couple of weeks is actually to sit down and take my planner, my paper planner, and plan my week. Where there's certain things that are non-negotiable, like, okay, this evening, I have to draw. It doesn't matter how tired I am or I need to sit down for like an hour and just draw. Done, you know? Or after I punch out of work, my virtual work, I need to take 30 minutes to do some exercise or something, you know? I mean, I have my yoga mat over here. I can set it down over here and do my resistance type training exercise. You know, even half an hour would do. That sort of thing. Because if I have it written down, I tend to kind of revisit it and check it off the list, and I get it done. And I haven't been doing it the last couple of weeks. I've been just kind of keep it in my head, and it doesn't feel the same, to be quite honest. And yeah, this past week has been just kind of crazy. I think my day job, the workload in the day job, pretty much has just zapped me out of a lot of energy, because my department has increased workloads as a result of this the pandemic and the lockdown thing. A lot more of the work has transitioned to our department, basically, without getting too much into details. I mean, which is good. I'm not complaining. It's keeping me employed, and that's a good thing, because this is still a brand new job to me, you know? Just started pretty much the beginning of the year. And I do enjoy my job. However, what I'm trying to do here is to use my time wisely when I'm not at the day job, you see? So what I do before work and after work, that's my time. So I need to just kind of configure it in a way where it's really achievable, and not in a way that's going to be counterproductive and it will actually cause me to kind of spin out of control and stress out over it, you know. I don't want it to feel like it's forced. I want it to become a habit that's natural. And it's I know it can work because it's worked before. It's just that kind of momentum where, you know, is doing well, and then this whole, okay, you're gonna work from home now kind of thing. It just kind of changed it up a little bit, you know. I don't know. I really need to sit down and plan stuff tomorrow. But I'm gonna take this weekend for the most part to relax, because I feel like I'm just pushing myself really hard as of late. And I need to take care of myself, obviously. I mean, the stuff that's going on in the world, you need to really take care of yourselves, and you gotta take care of each other. So I need to be in good shape, both physically and mentally. So that's really important. And everything on my weekly list that that's on my checklist, it's all important to me. My diet, my what I do for fun, my drawing time is great. It makes me feel really good and accomplished in a different way than my job does. Sitting down and just playing games, you know, it's fun. It's a treat that I give myself, and it's fun when I get to do that. Exercising is fun to me, because it makes me feel better, and it makes me just overall just kind of gives me a lot more energy, and my mind's clear, and it's able to focus and concentrate better, I feel, when I'm kind of doing all the things on my list, you know. It's kind of a holistic thing that I'm trying to get done here. It's a bit of a struggle, yeah. Well, that's why I started recording this, to try to kind of maybe a year from now, maybe at the end of the year, I can look back and, hey, you know, kind of see a pattern of, well, this was working and this wasn't working, so what didn't work for this week, kind of thing, you know. That's why there's a lot of kind of tinkering and, you know, tweaking, you know, strategies and such, just like, you know, kind of like at work, you know, what's working and what's not. You gotta sit down and be able to reflect upon, why did this happen? You know, how can I do better? And this is what the whole process is for. So basically, I'm gonna try to wrap this up because I'm starting to rant now. Here's the plan for the upcoming week. Tomorrow, I'm gonna sit down and on my paper planner, I'm gonna pretty much schedule my week. What I'm gonna do after the day job and before the day job. That way there's some kind of structure there. And I'm going to make sure there are certain non-negotiables, where I must have at least one time where I do this, or I must at least have 2 times that I do this, just to kind of, you know, push myself a little bit, but not too much, you know. That's the strategy. Also, very important that I get some rest this weekend, because I feel really, really tired, really spent. Not just from the day job, but just kind of going to the store really early, because, you know, as you know, you guys know what's going on. This whole lockdown thing has kind of changed the way normal is, so now we can't get, like, we get groceries delivered, but we have to wait for a slot, and sometimes not all the things that we've ordered come in because they run out of it, understandably. So I have to go to the local grocery to pick up what was missing, and that's what I do. And the only time I have time to actually do that is early in the day. And so running around doing errands like that, it's just kind of very tiring, you know. It adds up, but my family's counting on me, so I have to come through. It is what it is. Yeah, so this weekend is more for rest and relaxation and reflection. And I'm optimistic about the forthcoming week. So, you have to, right? You have to think that way. You can't just be like, oh, that's gonna be a crap week anyway, so why try? No way. That's just not my approach. So I hope you guys are doing okay wherever you are. Hope you're staying safe, staying hunkered down, and, you know, working on your projects. And feel free to share them in the comments here or my blog, wherever. And I suppose I'll end it here. Thank you for listening to my rants. I will speak to you guys next week. And stay safe. See y'all on the flip side.